Hi everyone, my name is Charlie, and today I thought I would share with you what I read last night at the King Edward Street Chapel with the Macclesfield Creative Writing Group. We hold a festive event most years. I can't say how long we've been doing it, but we do. And we all come together having written something new, specifically for the Christmas season. However, I have been extraordinarily busy this year and have found no time in which I could write. And I have said this before, I'm the type of person that really does need to relax and get into a mood before I settle down to write anything. And so, Indisputably Doris was finished in February, and I haven't had the time really, due to overtime, other stuff going on with my family, and holidays, all that fun stuff, to really dedicate any time to writing. And so I didn't have anything to read last night. But I did find an excerpt in the book, and I thought I'd share it with you today. Because people keep telling me I need to make this audiobook at some point. And I'll get there. I will. Now, we might find it a bit difficult, because I've not had my inhalers this morning because I left them at the shop. And Indisputably Doris, all my Doris books take a bit of lung power, but this excerpt is taken from the Christmas chapter, which is chapter 7, and this involves our Doris searching for Father Christmas. Our Doris has arranged a winter wonderland. The first thing we had to do was interview Father Christmas. After a few telephone conversations with the Partridge News Gazette editor and the threat she'd mentioned their smear campaign against her to the Press Complaints Commission, they placed an advert asking for an older gentleman with strong knees and preferably a beard to meet us at the church hall on Saturday afternoon. We'd expected drunks. We hadn't anticipated the amount of drunks there are in Partridge Mews. I hadn't realised how many drunks, waifs and strays our town holds. Even Dennis Perry made an appearance, and he's been on a tag for 18 months after he mistook a goldfish bowl for a jar of pickled onions at the GP. They lined up outside the church hall like it were a dole queue, filled with this mixture of excitement and fury. You could tell by the sheer build of them that if someone jumped the line, they'd be decapitated before they had the chance to say oh, oh, oh. I said to our Doris, I didn't think there'd be that many men interested in playing Father Christmas. She said, you'd be surprised the amount of men who jump at the chance to dress up. Once we were fully assembled, thermos full of coffee beneath the table, our Doris checked the time and summoned the first act. And thus began the most painful 4 hours of my life, and I've sat through Steel Magnolias. We needn't have worried about Dennis Perry. He turned out to be the most favourable of the drunks. At least he were able to string a sentence together. Curly Donahue lost his trousers. Mrs. Yates protested against our sexist undertaking by standing in the middle of the room for 5 minutes and discussing the latest Woman's Weekly, and a few of them only came in because they wanted to find out why there was a queue. After watching the majority of the town's old codgers cough up phlegm whilst forgetting the name of Santa's reindeer, we managed to whittle the list of applicants down to 5. In my efforts to appear inclusive, I campaigned for little Barry Upperdyke to be present, but our Doris has always had a thing against overbites. The cream of the crop, our 5 Father Christmases, stood before us, each more bedraggled than the last. Ernie Jackson made it by the skin of his teeth, and only because we felt we owed him a favour. Some of them wouldn't even win awards for trying. I said to our Doris, they think because they've tucked in their shirts it's a costume. Ernie's worn that red fleece since Linda left him in 2007. I'm telling you, our Doris, send them all home, we'll think of something else. Our Doris gave me the look. Before saying to the men, she said, Please forgive my husband's tactless outburst there, but I must say I agree with his pronouncement. You are a shambles. I have directed theatre troupes of toddlers with little to no bladder control, and they were a sight better than you. Honestly, I am a woman of few words, but you were well and truly awful. My only wish, just one wish, is to spread some festive cheer this Christmas, with the help of a spectacular Santa Claus. Instead, I'm left with the extras from our Feed a Same Pet. At that moment, something completely unexpected happened. The sound of jingle bells filled the hall, echoing off the ceiling alongside the beat of boots against a lino. With an explosion of ho ho ho, the double doors flew open and Father Christmas entered the church hall. He was the greatest we'd ever seen. His beard had the daz-white sheen, and his big black boots glowed with polish. His belly was huge, and his ankles were scrawny, and he was unmistakably Elf. He walked over to join the line and said to us, he said, "I hope I'm not too late. I heard they got a special offer on grouse down Tesco, and you know how Edith likes a tipple." The other 5 may as well fled at this point, because when Alf stood beside them, he emphasised all of their failings. Their beards were little more than scraggly and grey, like an Irish wolfhound trapped in the rain. Our Doris hid her smile behind a cough, before saying, she said, "Mr. Simpson, I'm most pleased you chose to attend today. Although the rest of you made some attempt at embodying the Christmas spirit, you're still closer to goblins than elves. When compared against Mr. Simpson, a man known for his sheer untidiness, it's really no contest. I can express nothing but sincere gratitude that you auditioned, but none of you showed me the charisma, verve and wonder necessary to truly encapsulate a man as esteemed as St. Nicholas." We watched them leave. Dennis Perry called it a fix, whilst Ernie questioned whether the hare and horse still served dry roasted peanuts. Our Doris said to Elf, she said, "You'll need to be properly briefed on the decorum of Father Christmas." Elf reached deep into his pocket and removed a pork pie. Melton Mowbray. He wiped off the fluff and dug in, flecks of pastry crumbling into his beard. And I knew that if our Doris wanted to train him in decorum and keep him clean, she'd have a struggle on her hands. And that was that. That is what I read from Indisputably Doris last night at the King Edward Street Chapel. We only sold 1 copy, which was due to the fact that everybody else had already bought theirs. But it was great. And, you know, people like the way that I read Doris, apparently. You might not, you might hate it, but I wish to share it today on this gloriously rainy Friday. Anyway, what did you think of my reading? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, that is all.